as well as generating a new, much-needed dialogue about this important artist among scholars, artists, and the general public. The Mina Boa Metzger collection, these new exhibitions, Matt's new book, along with Father Krikor's help, and Matt and Maru's daughter Cosima is producing a film, I hope I can say that, entitled Arshile Gorky, My Grandfather. I've seen a trailer of it, and it is truly fascinating. This all will celebrate his life and work, particularly for the artist's longtime admirers. Highlighting his passion and dedication as an artistic genius, Gorky's legacy will be further secured. His undeniably tragic life, filled with haunting memories of his Armenian past, enlightened his innovative and deeply personal paintings, which continue to resonate to this day. It is with great pleasure that the Whistler House Museum of Art is presenting this unique opportunity to showcase this special collection of Arshile Gorky's works, to acknowledge his singular importance within the history of art, and to introduce this fascinating artist to a new generation of art viewers. I hope all of you come to see our exhibition, and I hope you all have an opportunity to go to the Philadelphia Museum of Art's retrospective. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I throw it open to some questions, I wanted to remind you all that our videotaping, which is going on tonight, is available, will be available through YouTube, and will also be available for sale at some later point. But we inform you that it'll be shown publicly, so if you don't want to be seen publicly, don't ask me questions. And also after our panel questions and answers, we have some delicacies and coffee, decaf in the other room. So thank you very much for your warm applause and your appreciation of our speakers tonight, and throw it open to questions.
Yeah, I don't have a question, I have a comment. I want to underscore how important this transcription of Gorky's letters happens to be. I know they've appeared in print before. Carlin published in one of his volumes, translations so-called, of the letters, but Carlin didn't read Armenian. And the way these letters were transcribed is that Bartush would read in her Armenian, try to figure out what her brother was saying, then spit it out in her English, and then Carlin would try to make sense of it in his. And so we have a unique opportunity now to really get a sense of what Gorky was about, much more so than earlier versions of these letters.
Thank you. Thank you. Questions?
I'm curious about the letters, where you said they're housed. They are in a special place in New York. Are all of them there?
Yeah.
And have you translated all of them?
Yes, everything that exists at the diocese, at the Treasury of Diocese, has been translated, yes.
And they're in the book that...
Yes,
Right.
The
translations are...
the intention of this book is to put every single word that Gorky himself wrote in English. The intention of this book is to include every single word that Gorky wrote in Armenian and in English. That's certainly true for the private correspondence. There are a few semi-public texts that he wrote for the WPA, which exist in 4 different versions, none of which sound exactly like the way Gorky wrote. And it seemed superfluous to publish all 4, so I published the 2 which I thought were most interesting. But apart from that, every single word.
WPA work?
Yeah. When he was doing the Newark airport murals, he had to write a presentation of his ideas because it was very difficult to get the Newark Airport murals passed all the various committees. So he wrote a very beautiful text, probably with the help of somebody here in Watertown, I think, but I'm not sure. This was paraphrased and tidied up because the English wasn't perfect by two other anonymous writers. So I chose the two which I thought were most authentic to Gorky. I suppose scholars might say, well, you've left the other two out, but I see this. Yeah, exactly. I see this book as work in progress, really, because the fact that the footnotes had to be printed on the bottom of the page meant that we had to cut down a lot. We had to eliminate a lot. So I'm hoping that in the future there's a possibility of publishing just the Armenian letters with all of Father Maksoudian's comments, because his comments were very interesting, and it was very frustrating to have to cancel them or cut them down.
Lucy?
How did it come about that the diocese has this collection?
Okay. Al?
I can answer that.
Yeah.
The works were on a loan to the University, to the Art Institute of Chicago, and they asked for them in
Who put them on loan?
Bartusz.
Us.
I'm sorry. There are paintings that are now at the Gulbenkian in addition to the letters. And after the Guggenheim exhibit of 1981, there is written in the New York Times that Gorky was Jewish. And Torkom, Torkom, who was then Archbishop, wrote a letter to the editor of the New York Times that Gorky was not Jewish, and it was on the basis of that letter that the family decided to give all the works, the letters and the paintings, to the diocese.
They weren't given to the diocese. They were given to the diocese as a trustee. They were to hold the paintings in trust until such time as conditions in Armenia.
That's not the case. In the will.
That is.
No, it isn't.
We'll take this up. Two of our greatest Armenian minds.
Wait a second. I know a little about this. No, it's true about this business about where this collection is eventually going to go. I would really like to keep out of. But Bartusz at a certain point said that it was her brother's wish that they should go to Yerevan. That's just wishful thinking, because at the time of Gorky's death, she only had about 3 works by her brother. So there's no, how could he possibly have an intention of where a collection should go when the collection didn't exist at the time of his death? So it really boils down to what respect is due to Bartusz's wish that they should go this way or that way. I don't want to get involved.
They should be shown at some point, is what the lecture, anyway.
Yeah. The majority of the works were given by my mother-in-law to Bartusz in memory of her brother after Gorky's death. So when she writes of her brother's wishes for this collection to go this way or that, is her wish. It's not her brother's wish.
I was wondering, is your mother-in-law still living?
Yes.